Biblical Hebrew, Wikipedia article audio. Biblical Hebrew, also called Classical Hebrew, is an archaic form of Hebrew, a Canaanite Semitic language spoken by the Israelites in the area known as Israel, roughly west of the Jordan River and east of the Mediterranean Sea. The term Hebrew was not used for the language in the Bible, which was referred to as or, but the name was used in Greek and Mishnaic Hebrew texts. Hebrew is attested epigraphically from about the 10th century BCE, and spoken Hebrew persisted through and beyond the Second Temple period, which ended in the Siege of Jerusalem. It eventually developed into Mishnaic Hebrew, spoken until the 2nd century CE. Nomenclature. History. Biblical Hebrew as recorded in the Hebrew Bible reflects various stages of the Hebrew language in its consonantal skeleton, as well as a vocalic system which was added in the Middle Ages by the Masoretes. There is also some evidence of regional dialectal variation, including differences between Biblical Hebrew as spoken in the northern kingdom of Israel and in the southern kingdom of Judah. The consonantal text was transmitted in manuscript form, and underwent redaction in the Second Temple period, but its earliest portions can be dated to the late 8th to early 7th centuries BCE. Biblical Hebrew has been written with a number of different writing systems. The Hebrews adopted the Phoenician alphabet around the 12th century BCE, which developed into the Paleo-Hebrew alphabet. This was retained by the Samaritans, who use the descendant Samaritan alphabet to this day. However, the Aramaic alphabet gradually displaced the Paleo-Hebrew alphabet for the Jews, and it became the source for the modern Hebrew alphabet. All of these scripts were lacking letters to represent all of the sounds of Biblical Hebrew, though these sounds are reflected in Greek and Latin transcriptions/translations of the time. These scripts originally only indicated consonants, but certain letters, known by the Latin term matres lectiones, became increasingly used to mark vowels. In the Middle Ages, various systems of diacritics were developed to mark the vowels in Hebrew manuscripts. Of these, only the Tiberian vocalization is still in wide use. Biblical Hebrew possessed a series of emphatic consonants whose precise articulation is disputed, likely ejective or pharyngealized. Earlier Biblical Hebrew possessed 3 consonants which did not have their own letters in the writing system, but over time they merged with other consonants. The stop consonants developed fricative allophones under the influence of Aramaic, and these sounds eventually became marginally phonemic. The pharyngeal and glottal consonants underwent weakening in some regional dialects, as reflected in the modern Samaritan Hebrew reading tradition. The vowel system of Biblical Hebrew changed over time and is reflected differently in the ancient Greek and Latin transcriptions, medieval vocalization systems, and modern reading traditions. Biblical Hebrew had a typical Semitic morphology with non-concatenative morphology, arranging Semitic roots into patterns to form words. Biblical Hebrew distinguished 2 genders, 3 numbers. Verbs were marked for voice and mood, and had 2 conjugations which may have indicated aspect and/or tense. The tense or aspect of verbs was also influenced by the conjugation, in the so-called Vav consecutive construction. Default word order was verb subject object, and verbs inflected for the number, gender, and person of their subject. Pronominal suffixes could be appended to verbs or nouns, and nouns had special construct states for use in possessive constructions. The earliest written sources refer to Biblical Hebrew by the name of the land in which it was spoken, the language of Canaan. The Hebrew Bible also shows that the language was called Judean, Judahite. In the Hellenistic period, Greek writings use the names Hebraeos, Hebraisti, and in Mishnaic Hebrew we find Hebrew and Hebrew language. The origin of this term is obscure. Suggested origins include the biblical Eber, the ethnonyms Abiru, Apiru, and Apiru found in sources from Egypt and the Near East, and a derivation from the root to pass, alluding to crossing over the Jordan River. Jews also began referring to Hebrew as the Holy Tongue in Mishnaic Hebrew. Classification. The term Classical Hebrew may include all pre-medieval dialects of Hebrew, including Mishnaic Hebrew, or it may be limited to Hebrew contemporaneous with the Hebrew Bible. The term Biblical Hebrew refers to pre-Mishnaic dialects. The term Biblical Hebrew may or may not include extra-biblical texts, such as inscriptions, and generally also includes later vocalization traditions for the Hebrew Bible's consonantal text, most commonly the early medieval Tiberian vocalization. The archaeological record for the prehistory of Biblical Hebrew is far more complete than the record of Biblical Hebrew itself. Early Northwest Semitic materials are attested from 2350 BCE to 1200 BCE, the end of the Bronze Age. The Northwest Semitic languages, including Hebrew, differentiated noticeably during the Iron Age, although in its earliest stages Biblical Hebrew was not highly differentiated from Ugaritic and the Canaanite of the Amarna letters. Eras. Hebrew developed during the latter half of the 2nd millennium BCE between the Jordan and the Mediterranean Sea, an area known as Canaan. The Israelite tribes established a kingdom in Canaan at the beginning of the 1st millennium BCE, which later split into the Kingdom of Israel in the north and the Kingdom of Judah in the south after a dispute of succession. The earliest Hebrew writing yet discovered was found at Khirbet Ki Yafa and dates to the 10th century BCE. The Kingdom of Israel was destroyed by the Assyrians in 722 BCE. The Kingdom of Judah was conquered by the Babylonians in 586 BCE. Its higher classes were exiled into the Babylonian captivity and Solomon's temple was destroyed. Later the Persians made Judah a province and permitted Jewish exiles to return and rebuild the temple. According to the Gemara, Hebrew of this period was similar to Imperial Aramaic. In Pesahim, Tractate 87b, Hananiah bar Hamma said that God sent the exiled Jews to Babylon because language is akin to the Leshon HaKodesh. Aramaic became the common language in the north, in Galilee, and Samaria. Hebrew remained in use in Judah, however the returning exiles brought back Aramaic influence, and Aramaic was used for communicating with other ethnic groups during the Persian period. Alexander conquered Judah in 332 BCE, beginning the period of Hellenistic domination. During the Hellenistic period Judea became independent under the Hasmonean dynasty, but later the Romans ended their independence, making Herod the Great their governor. One Jewish revolt against the Romans led to the destruction of the Second Temple in 70 CE, and the Second Bar Kokhba revolt in 132–135 led to a large departure of the Jewish population of Judea. Dialects. Biblical Hebrew after the Second Temple period evolved into Mishnaic Hebrew, which ceased being spoken and developed into a literary language around 200 CE. Hebrew continued to be used as a literary and liturgical language in the form of medieval Hebrew, and Hebrew began a revival process in the 19th century, culminating in modern Hebrew becoming the official language of Israel. Currently, Classical Hebrew is generally taught in public schools in Israel, and Biblical Hebrew forms are sometimes used in modern Hebrew literature, much as archaic and biblical constructions are used in modern English literature. Since modern Hebrew contains many biblical elements, Biblical Hebrew is fairly intelligible to modern Hebrew speakers. Orthography. The primary source of Biblical Hebrew material is the Hebrew Bible. Epigraphic materials from the area of Israelite territory are written in a form of Hebrew called inscriptional Hebrew, although this is meagerly attested. According to Waltke and O'Connor, inscriptional Hebrew is not strikingly different from the Hebrew preserved in the Masoretic text. The damp climate of Israel caused the rapid deterioration of papyrus and parchment documents, in contrast to the dry environment of Egypt, and the survival of the Hebrew Bible may be attributed to scribal determination in preserving the text through copying. No manuscript of the Hebrew Bible dates to before 400 BCE, although 2 silver rolls from the 7th or 6th century BCE show a version of the priestly blessing. Vowel and cantillation marks were added to the older consonantal layer of the Bible between 600 CE and the beginning of the 10th century. The scholars who preserved the pronunciation of the Bibles were known as the Masoretes. The most well-preserved system that was developed, and the only one still in religious use, is the Tibraean vocalization, but both Babylonian and Palestinian vocalizations are also attested. The Palestinian system was preserved mainly in Piayatime, which contain biblical quotations. Phonology. Biblical Hebrew is a Northwest Semitic language from the Canaanite subgroup. As Biblical Hebrew evolved from the Proto-Semitic language, it underwent a number of consonantal mergers parallel with those in other Canaanite languages. There is no evidence that these mergers occurred after the adaptation of the Hebrew alphabet. Consonants. As a Northwest Semitic language, Hebrew shows the shift of initial */w/ to /j/, a similar independent pronoun system to the other Northwest Semitic languages. Some archaic forms, such as /na/nu/we, first-person singular pronominal suffix I or ye, and /n/ commonly preceding pronominal suffixes. Case endings are found in Northwest Semitic languages in the 2nd millennium BCE, but disappear almost totally afterwards. Mimation is absent in singular nouns, but is often retained in the plural, as in Hebrew. The Northwest Semitic languages formed a dialect continuum in the Iron Age, with Phoenician and Aramaic on each extreme. Hebrew is classed with Phoenician in the Canaanite subgroup, which also includes Ammonite, Edomite, and Moabite. Moabite might be considered a Hebrew dialect, though it possessed distinctive Aramaic features. Although Ugaritic shows a large degree of affinity to Hebrew in poetic structure, vocabulary, and some grammar, it lacks some Canaanite features, and its similarities are more likely a result of either contact or preserved archaism. Hebrew underwent the Canaanite shift, where Proto-Semitic /a/ tended to shift to /o/, perhaps when stressed. Hebrew also shares with the Canaanite languages the shifts *///z/ */ and *//s/, widespread reduction of diphthongs, and full assimilation of non-final /n/ to the following consonant if word final, i.e. /bat/ from *bant. There is also evidence of a rule of assimilation of /y/ to the following coronal consonant in pre-tonic position, shared by Hebrew, Phoenician, and Aramaic. Typical Canaanite words in Hebrew include roof, table, window, old, Old and expel. Morphological Canaanite features in Hebrew include the masculine plural marker, first-person singular pronoun, interrogative pronoun, definite article, dash, and third-person plural feminine verbal marker, dash. Biblical Hebrew as preserved in the Hebrew Bible is composed of multiple linguistic layers. The consonantal skeleton of the text is the most ancient, while the vocalization and cantillation are later additions reflecting a later stage of the language. These additions were added after 600 CE. Hebrew had already ceased being used as a spoken language around 200 CE. Biblical Hebrew as reflected in the consonantal text of the Bible and in extra-biblical inscriptions may be subdivided by era. Vowels. The oldest form of Biblical Hebrew, Archaic Hebrew, is found in poetic sections of the Bible and inscriptions dating to around 1000 BCE, the early monarchic period. This stage is also known as Old Hebrew or Paleo-Hebrew, and is the oldest stratum of Biblical Hebrew. The oldest known artifacts of Archaic Biblical Hebrew are various sections of the Tanakh, including the Song of Moses and the Song of Deborah. Biblical poetry uses a number of distinct lexical items, for example, for prose, see, for, great. Some have cognates in other Northwest Semitic languages, for example, do and gold, which are common in Canaanite and Ugaritic. Grammatical differences include the use of and as relative particles, negative, and various differences in verbal and pronominal morphology and syntax. Sound changes. Later pre-exilic Biblical Hebrew is known as Biblical Hebrew proper or Standard Biblical Hebrew. This is dated to the period from the 8th to the 6th century BCE. In contrast to Archaic Hebrew, Standard Biblical Hebrew is more consistent in using the definite article, dash, the accusative marker, distinguishing between simple and vav consecutive verb forms, and in using particles like and rather than a synditon. First, short vowels lengthened in an open syllable in pretonic position, later, short vowels lengthened in stressed open syllables. Biblical Hebrew from after the Babylonian exile in 587 BCE is known as Late Biblical Hebrew. Late Biblical Hebrew shows Aramaic influence in phonology, morphology, and lexicon, and this trend is also evident in the later developed Tiberine vocalization system. Qumran Hebrew, attested in the Dead Sea Scrolls from ca 200 BCE to 70 CE, is a continuation of Late Biblical Hebrew. Qumran Hebrew may be considered an intermediate stage between Biblical Hebrew and Mishnaic Hebrew, though Qumran Hebrew shows its own idiosyncratic dialectal features. Perfect, simple past, in narrative, reflects a simple completed action, perception, emotion, or mental process, and can also be past tense from the perspective of a prior verb which is used in future tense, imperfect, vav consecutive preterite, simple past tense which takes the prefix as a conjunction, appears at the beginning of a clause when it's connected in a narrative sequence with previous clauses, where the conjunction can be translated as and then, but, however, sometimes is not translated at all, and can even have a parenthetical function as if suggesting the clause is like a side note to the main focus of the narrative, imperfect, past, reflecting not just a past action but also suggesting the process with which it was being done, e.g., I brought the horse to a halt, I began to hear, imperfect, cyclic past, reflecting a habitual or cyclic action over time, e.g. this is what job would always do, participle in past tense. An active or passive participle being used in its imperfect verbal sense in the past, e.g., and the Spirit of God was hovering. Dialect variation in Biblical Hebrew is attested to by the well-known Shibboleth incident of Judges 12:6, where Jephthah's forces from Gilead caught Ephraimites trying to cross the Jordan River by making them say. The Ephraimites' identity was given away by their pronunciation. The apparent conclusion is that the Ephraimite dialect had /s/for standard // As an alternative explanation, it has been suggested that the Proto-Semitic phoneme *// which shifted to / in most dialects of Hebrew, may have been retained in the Hebrew of the Transjordan. However, there is evidence that the word had initial consonant */ in Proto-Semitic, contradicting this theory. Proto-Central Semitic, Canaanite shift, Proto-Hebrew, loss of final unstressed vowels. Hebrew as spoken in the Northern Kingdom of Israel, known also as Israelian Hebrew, shows phonological, lexical, and grammatical differences from Southern dialects. The Northern dialect spoken around Samaria shows more frequent simplification of /aj/ into /e/ as attested by the Samaria Ostraca, e.g., while the Southern dialect instead adds in an epenthetic vowel /i/, added halfway through the first millennium BCE. The wordplay in Amos 8:1-2 may reflect this, given that Amos was addressing the population of the Northern Kingdom. The vocalization * would be more forceful. Other possible Northern features include use of who, that, forms like to know rather than, and infinitives of certain verbs of the form to do rather than. The Samaria Ostraca also show for standard year, as in Aramaic. Perfect, proverbial / general present, a general truth in the present tense which is not referring to a specific event, e.g. the sun sets in the west. Perfect, stative present, present tense with verbs that depict a state of being rather than an action, including verbs of perception, emotion, or mental process, e.g. I love, I hate, I understand, I know. Perfect, present perfect, a present perfect verb, e.g. I have walked. Imperfect, present condition, an imperfect verb in the present, 1. Which implies that an action has been going on for some time and is still ongoing in the present, especially used of questions in the present, e.g. what are you seeking? Imperfect, cyclic present, an imperfect verb in the present, reflecting a cyclic action in the present, e.g. it is being said in the city, a son makes his father glad. Participle in present tense, an active or passive participle being used in its imperfect verbal sense in the present, e.g. I am going. The guttural phonemes /h/ merged over time in some dialects. This was found in Dead Sea Scroll Hebrew, but Jerome attested to the existence of contemporaneous Hebrew speakers who still distinguished pharyngeals. Samaritan Hebrew also shows a general attrition of these phonemes, though /h/ are occasionally preserved as. The earliest Hebrew writing yet discovered, found at Khirbet Ki Yafa, dates to the 10th century BCE. The 15 cm x 16.5 cm trapezoid pottery sherd has 5 lines of text written in ink written in the Proto-Canaanite alphabet. The tablet is written from left to right, indicating that Hebrew writing was still in the formative stage. The Israelite tribes who settled in the land of Israel adopted the Phoenician script around the 12th century BCE, as found in the Gezer calendar. This script developed into the Paleo-Hebrew script in the 10th or 9th centuries BCE. The Paleo-Hebrew alphabet's main differences from the Phoenician script were a curving to the left of the downstrokes in the long-legged letter signs, the consistent use of a vav with a concave top, X-shaped ta. The oldest inscriptions in Paleo-Hebrew script are dated to around the middle of the 9th century BCE, the most famous being the Mesha stele in the Moabite language. The ancient Hebrew script was in continuous use until the early 6th century BCE, the end of the First Temple period. In the Second Temple period, the Paleo-Hebrew script gradually fell into disuse, and was completely abandoned among the Jews after the failed Bar Kokhba revolt. The Samaritans retained the ancient Hebrew alphabet, which evolved into the modern Samaritan alphabet. Perfect, Vav consecutive future, by analogy to the preterite, a simple future tense verb which takes the prefix as a conjunction, appears at the beginning of a clause when it's connected in a narrative sequence with previous clauses, where the conjunction can be translated as and then, but, however, sometimes is not translated at all, and can even have a parenthetical function as if suggesting the clause is like a side note to the main focus of the narrative. Perfect, Vav consecutive subjunctive, takes the prefix as a conjunction to continue the subjunctive mood in a narrative sequence. Perfect, Vav consecutive jussive/cohortative, takes the prefix as a conjunction to continue the jussive and cohortative moods in a narrative sequence. Perfect, promise future, the completeness of the verb form here expresses an imminent action in the context of promises, threats, and the language of contracts and covenants in general, e.g. I will give you this land, will I have this pleasure. Perfect. Prophetic future, the completeness of the verb form here expresses an imminent action in the context of prophecy, e.g. you will go into exile. Imperfect, future, reflects a future event which has not yet come into completion, or one that has not yet begun, or future tense from the perspective of a prior verb which is used in past tense. Imperfect, subjunctive, reflects a potential, theoretical, or modal verb, such as in conditional clauses, e.g. if you go, she should stay. Imperfect, jussive/ cohortative, reflects a non-immediate command, invitation, permission, or wishful request, e.g. let there be light, you may eat from the tree, let's go, oh that someone would get me a drink. By the end of the First Temple period, the Aramaic script, a separate descendant of the Phoenician script, became widespread throughout the region, gradually displacing Paleo-Hebrew. The oldest documents that have been found in the Aramaic script are fragments of the scrolls of Exodus, Samuel, and Jeremiah found among the Dead Sea Scrolls, dating from the late 3rd and early 2nd centuries BCE. It seems that the earlier biblical books were originally written in the Paleo-Hebrew script, while the later books were written directly in the later Assyrian script. Some Qumran texts written in the Assyrian script write the Tetragrammaton and some other divine names in Paleo-Hebrew, and this practice is also found in several Jewish Greek biblical translations. While spoken Hebrew continued to evolve into Mishnaic Hebrew, the scribal tradition for writing the Torah gradually developed. A number of regional bookhand styles developed for the purpose of Torah manuscripts and occasionally other literary works, distinct from the calligraphic styles used mainly for private purposes. The Mizrahi and Ashkenazi bookhand styles were later adapted to printed fonts after the invention of the printing press. The modern Hebrew alphabet, also known as the Assyrian or square script, is a descendant of the Aramaic alphabet. The Phoenician script had dropped 5 characters by the 12th century BCE, reflecting the language's 22 consonantal phonemes. As a result, the 22 letters of the Paleo-Hebrew alphabet numbered less than the consonant phonemes of ancient Biblical Hebrew. In particular, the letters could each mark 2 different phonemes. After a sound shift, the letters could only mark 1 phoneme, but still marked 2. The Old Babylonian vocalization system wrote a superscript above the to indicate it took the value /s/, while the Masoretes added the shin dot to distinguish between the 2 varieties of the letter. The original Hebrew alphabet consisted only of consonants, but gradually the letters also became used to indicate vowels, known as matres lectiones when used in this function. It is thought that this was a product of phonetic development. For instance, *bait shifted to in construct state but retained its spelling. While no examples of early Hebrew orthography have been found, older Phoenician and Moabite texts show how First Temple period Hebrew would have been written. Phoenician inscriptions from the 10th century BCE do not indicate matres lections in the middle or the end of a word, for example, and for later, and, similarly to the Hebrew Gezer calendar, which has for instance, for, and possibly, for. Matres lectiones were later added word finally, for instance the Mesha inscription has for later, however at this stage they were not yet used word medially, compare Salome inscription versus. The relative terms defective and full/plain are used to refer to alternative spellings of a word with less or more matres lectiones, respectively. Short vowel lengthening, lowering. The Hebrew Bible was presumably originally written in a more defective orthography than found in any of the texts known today. Of the extant textual witnesses of the Hebrew Bible, the Masoretic text is generally the most conservative in its use of matres lectiones, with the Samaritan Pentateuch and its forebears being more full and the Qumran tradition showing the most liberal use of vowel letters. The Masoretic text mostly uses vowel letters for long vowels, showing the tendency to mark all long vowels except for word internals /a/. In the Qumran tradition, back vowels are usually represented by whether short or long. Is generally used for both long and final is often written as. In analogy to words like, e.g., sometimes, is found finally in forms like while, may be used for an equality vowel in final position and in medial position. Pre-Samaritan and Samaritan texts show full spellings in many categories but only rarely show full spelling of the Qumran type. In general, the vowels of Biblical Hebrew were not indicated in the original text, but various sources attest them at various stages of development. Greek and Latin transcriptions of words from the biblical text provide early evidence of the nature of Biblical Hebrew vowels. In particular, there is evidence from the rendering of proper nouns in the Koine Greek Septuagint and the Greek alphabet transcription of the Hebrew biblical text contained in the Secunda. In the 7th and 8th centuries CE, various systems of vocalic notation were developed to indicate vowels in the biblical text. The most prominent, best preserved, and the only system still in use, is the Tiberian vocalization system, created by scholars known as Masoretes around 850 CE. There are also various extant manuscripts making use of less common vocalization systems, known as supralinear vocalizations because their vocalization marks are placed above the letters. In addition, the Samaritan reading tradition is independent of these systems, and was occasionally notated with a separate vocalization system. These systems often record vowels at different stages of historical development. For example, the name of the judge Samson is recorded in Greek as sa. Samson with the first vowel as /a/, while Tiberian /im on / with /i/ shows the effect of the law of attenuation whereby /a/ enclosed unstressed syllables became /i/. All of these systems together are used to reconstruct the original vocalization of Biblical Hebrew. At an early stage, in documents written in the Paleo-Hebrew script, words were divided by short vertical lines and later by dots, as reflected by the Mesha stone, the Salome inscription, the Ophel inscription, and Paleo-Hebrew script documents from Qumran. Word division was not used in Phoenician inscriptions. However, there is not direct evidence for biblical texts being written without word division, as suggested by Nachmanides in his introduction to the Torah. Word division using spaces was commonly used from the beginning of the 7th century BCE for documents in the Aramaic script. In addition to marking vowels, the Tiberian system also uses cantillation marks, which serve to mark word stress, semantic structure, and the musical motifs used in formal recitation of the text. Reduction of short open stressed syllables. Pre-stress reduction of short vowel. Later developments. While the Tiberian, Babylonian, and Palestinian reading traditions are extinct, various other systems of pronunciation have evolved over time, notably the Yemenite, Sephardi, Ashkenazi, and Samaritan traditions. Modern Hebrew pronunciation is also used by some to read biblical texts. The modern reading traditions do not stem solely from the Tiberian system. For instance, the Sephardic tradition's distinction between Kametz Gadol and Katan is pre-Tiberian. However, the only orthographic system used to mark vowels is the Tiberian vocalization. The phonology as reconstructed for Biblical Hebrew is as follows. Consonants lost and gained during the lifetime of Biblical Hebrew are color-coded respectively. The phonetic nature of some Biblical Hebrew consonants is disputed. The so-called emphatics were likely ejective, but possibly pharyngealized or velariized. Some argue that /s, z, s/ were affricated. Originally, the Hebrew letters and each represented two possible phonemes, uvular and pharyngeal, with the distinction unmarked in Hebrew orthography. However, the uvular phonemes // and // merged with their pharyngeal counterparts /h/ and // respectively c. 200 BCE. Stress. This is observed by noting that these phonemes are distinguished consistently in the Septuagint of the Pentateuch, but this becomes more sporadic in later books and is generally absent in Ezra and Nehemiah. The phoneme // is also not directly indicated by Hebrew orthography but is clearly attested by later developments. It is written with but later merged with /s/. As a result, three etymologically distinct phonemes can be distinguished through a combination of spelling and pronunciation: /s/written, // written, and /s/. The specific pronunciation of /s/s is based on comparative evidence as well as early borrowings. / began merging with /s/ in late Biblical Hebrew, as indicated by interchange of orthographic and possibly under the influence of Aramaic, and this became the rule in Mishnaic Hebrew. In all Jewish reading traditions /n/s/ have merged completely, however in Samaritan Hebrew / has instead merged with // Allophonic spirantization of /bgdkpt/ to developed sometime during the lifetime of Biblical Hebrew under the influence of Aramaic. This probably happened after the original Old Aramaic phoneme / disappeared in the 7th century BCE, and most likely occurred after the loss of Hebrew / c 200 BCE. It is known to have occurred in Hebrew by the 2nd century CE. After a certain point this alternation became contrastive in word medial and final position, but in word initial position they remained allophonic. This is evidenced both by the Tiberian vocalization's consistent use of word initial spirants after a vowel in Sandi, as well as Rabbi Saadia Jayan's attestation to the use of this alternation in Tiberian Aramaic at the beginning of the 10th century CE. The Dead Sea Scrolls show evidence of confusion of the phonemes /h, e.g. HMR for Masoretic, /mar/ he said. However, the testimony of Jerome indicates that this was a regionalism and not universal. Confusion of gutturals was also attested in later Mishnaic Hebrew and Aramaic. In Samaritan Hebrew, /hh/ have generally all merged, either into // a glide /w/ or /j/ or by vanishing completely, except that original /h/ sometimes have reflex / before /a/ / Geminate consonants are phonemically contrastive in Biblical Hebrew. In the secundas /wjz/ are never geminate. In the Tiberian tradition /h, r/ cannot be geminate, historically first /r/ degeminated, followed by /h/ and finally /h/, as evidenced by changes in the quality of the preceding vowel. The vowel system of Biblical Hebrew has changed considerably over time. The following vowels are those reconstructed for the earliest stage of Hebrew, those attested by the Secunda, those of the various vocalization traditions, and those of the Samaritan tradition, with vowels absent in some traditions color-coded. The following sections present the vowel changes that Biblical Hebrew underwent, in approximate chronological order. Proto-Semitic is the ancestral language of all the Semitic languages, and in traditional reconstructions possessed 29 consonants, 6 monophthong vowels, consisting of 3 qualities and 2 lengths, */aa, ii, uu, / in which the long vowels occurred only in open syllables, and 2 diphthongs */aj/. The stress system of Proto-Semitic is unknown, but it is commonly described as being much like the system of Classical Latin or the modern pronunciation of Classical Arabic. If the penultimate syllable is light, stress goes on the antepenultimate, otherwise, it goes on the penultimate. Various changes, mostly in morphology, took place between Proto-Semitic and Proto-Central Semitic, the language at the root of the Central Semitic languages. The phonemic system was inherited essentially unchanged, but the emphatic consonants may have changed their realization in Central Semitic from ejectives to pharyngealized consonants. The morphology of Proto-Central Semitic shows significant changes compared with Proto-Semitic, especially in its verbs, and is much like in Classical Arabic. Nouns in the singular were usually declined in three cases: /u/, /a/ or /i/. In some circumstances, nouns also took a final nasal after the case ending. Nunation occurred in some languages, mimation in others. The original meaning of this marker is uncertain. In Classical Arabic, final /n/ on nouns indicates indefiniteness and disappears when the noun is preceded by a definite article or otherwise becomes definite in meaning. In other languages, final /n/ may be present whenever a noun is not in the construct state. Old Canaanite had mimation, of uncertain meaning, in an occurrence of the word Uru alemim as given in an Egyptian transcription. Grammar. Nouns and adjectives. Broken plural forms in Arabic are declined like singulars, and often take singular agreement as well. Dual and strong plural forms use endings with a long vowel or diphthong, declined in only two cases, nominative and objective, with the objective form often becoming the default one after the loss of case endings. Both Hebrew and Arabic had a special form of nunation/mimation that occurred with the dual and masculine sound plural endings whenever the noun was not in the construct state. The endings were evidently felt as an inherent part of the ending and, as a result, are still used. Examples are Arabic strong masculine plural una, ina, and dual endings ani, ani. Corresponding construct state endings are u, I, a, I. Hebrew has almost lost the broken plural, and any vestigial forms that may remain have been extended with the strong plural endings. The dual and strong plural endings were likely much like the Arabic forms given above at one point, with only the objective case forms ultimately surviving. For example, dual im is probably from *ime with an extended mimation ending, while dual construct e is from *I without mimation. Similarly, im/k, av/ but *dabara/d, v, r/. The dropping of final short vowels in verb forms tended to erase mood distinctions, but also some gender distinctions. However, unexpected vowel lengthening occurred in many situations to preserve the distinctions. For example, in the suffix conjugation, first singular *2 appears to have been remade into *ti already by Proto-Hebrew on the basis of possessive I. Similarly, in the second singular, inherited *ta ti competed with lengthened *ta ti for masculine and feminine forms. The expected result would be t or ta for masculine, t or ti for feminine, and in fact both variants of both forms are found in the Bible. The situation appears to have been quite fluid for several centuries, with t and ta/ti forms found in competition both in writing and in speech of Origen, which records both pronunciations, although quite often in disagreement with the written form as passed down to us. Ultimately, writing stabilized on the shorter t for both genders, while speech chose feminine t but masculine ta. This is the reason for the unexpected kametz vowel written under the final letter of such words. The exact same process affected possessive *ka and *ki, and personal pronouns and tat, *anti, with the same split into shorter and longer forms and the same ultimate resolution. The short vowels */aiu/ tended to lengthen in various positions. In the process of lengthening, the high vowels were lowered. In the secunda, the lengthened reflexes of /aiu/r/a, e, o, / when kept short they generally have reflexes /aeo/. Stressed open syllables with a short vowel had the vowel reduced to / and the stressed moved one syllable later in the word. Stress was originally penultimate and loss of final short vowels made many words have final stress. However, words whose final syllable had a long vowel or ended with a consonant were unaffected and still had penultimate stress at this point. This change did not happen in pausal position, where the penultimate stress is preserved, and vowel lengthening rather than reduction occurs. The previous three changes occurred in a complex, interlocking fashion. Examples. Note that many, perhaps most, Hebrew words with a schwa directly before a final stress are due to this stress shift. This sound change shifted many more originally penultimate stressed words to have final stress. The above changes can be seen to divide words into a number of main classes based on stress and syllable properties. */aiu/ were reduced to / in the second syllable before the stress, and occasionally reduced rather than lengthened in pretinic position, especially when initial. Thus the vowel system of the secunda was /aee, I, oo, u, /. The later Jewish traditions show similar vowel developments. By the Tiberian time, all short vowels and stressed syllables and open pretinic lengthened, making vowel length allophonic. Vowels in open or stressed syllables had allophonic length / may still occur, especially after stops and /s, /. Samaritan and Qumran Hebrew have full vowels in place of the reduced vowels of Tiberian Hebrew. Samaritan Hebrew also does not reflect etymological vowel length, however the elision of guttural consonants has created new phonemic vowel length, e.g. /r, b/, vs, /r, b/. Samaritan Hebrew vowels are allophonically lengthened in open syllables, e.g., though this is less strong in post-tonic vowels. Pretinic gemination is also found in Samaritan Hebrew, but not always in the same locations as in Tiberian Hebrew, e.g. th/gamal, im/sh/g, m, l, m/, th/al, mim/sh/, elam, m/. While Proto-Hebrew long vowels usually retain their vowel quality in the later traditions of Hebrew, in Samaritan Hebrew */i/ may have reflex /e/ enclosed stressed syllables, e.g. /den/ */a/ may become either /a/ or // and */o/ /u/. The reduced vowels of the other traditions appear as full vowels, though there may be evidence that Samaritan Hebrew once had similar vowel reduction. Samaritan / results from the neutralization of the distinction between /i/ and /e/ enclosed post-tonic syllables, e.g. /bit/ /abb, t/ /ger/ /ag, r/. Various more specific conditioned shifts of vowel quality have also occurred. Diphthongs were frequently monophthongized, but the scope and results of this shift varied among dialects. In particular, the Samaria Ostraca show /je, and /i/. Original */u/ tended to shift to /i/ beginning in the second half of the second millennium BC. This was carried through completely in Samaritan Hebrew but met more resistance in other traditions such as the Babylonian and Qumran traditions. Philippi's law is the process by which original */i/ enclosed stressed syllables shifts to /a/, or sometimes in the Tiberian tradition // This is absent in the transcriptions of the Secunda, but there is evidence that the law's onset predates the Secunda. In the Samaritan tradition, Philippi's law is applied consistently, e.g. */lib, u/lab/. In some traditions the short vowel /*a/ tended to shift to /i/ in unstressed closed syllables. This is known as the law of attenuation. It is common in the Tiberian tradition, e.g. */ at /Tiberian /for /, but exceptions are frequent. It is less common in the Babylonian vocalization, e.g. /, and differences in Greek and Latin transcriptions demonstrate that it began quite late. Attenuation generally did not occur before /i, e.g. Tiberian /maftia /versus /mifta/ and often was blocked before a geminate, e.g. Attenuation is rarely present in Samaritan Hebrew, e.g. /Magda/ In the Tiberian tradition /eiou/ takeoff glide /a/ before /hh/ This is absent in the Secunda and in Samaritan Hebrew but present in the transcriptions of Jerome. In the Tiberian tradition an ultra-short echo vowel is sometimes added to clusters where the first element is a guttural, e.g. /ja, azen /p, low /but, /ja, die /hbo its breadth. The following charts summarize the most common reflexes of the Proto-Semitic vowels in the various stages of Hebrew. Proto-Hebrew generally had penultimate stress. The ultimate stress of later traditions of Hebrew usually resulted from the loss of final vowels in many words, preserving the location of Proto-Semitic stress. Tiberian Hebrew has phonemic stress, e.g. /b, nu /vs. /b, nu /. Stress is most commonly ultimate, less commonly penultimate, and anti-penultimate stress exists marginally, e.g. /h, o, l, /. There does not seem to be evidence for stress in the Secunda varying from that of the Tiberian tradition. Despite sharing the loss of final vowels with Tiberian Hebrew, Samaritan Hebrew has generally not preserved Proto-Semitic stress, and has predominantly penultimate stress, with occasional ultimate stress. There is evidence that Qumran Hebrew had a similar stress pattern to Samaritan Hebrew. Medieval grammarians of Arabic and Hebrew classified words as belonging to three parts of speech: Arabicism, phi, l, and arf. Other grammarians have included more categories. In particular, adjectives and nouns show more affinity to each other than in most European languages. Biblical Hebrew has a typical Semitic morphology, characterized by the use of roots. Most words in Biblical Hebrew are formed from a root, a sequence of consonants with a general associated meaning. Roots are usually triconsonantal, with biconsonantal roots less common and rare cases of quadri- and quinquiconsonantal roots. Roots are modified by affixation to form words. Verbal patterns are more productive and consistent, while noun patterns are less predictable. The most common nominal prefix used is /m/, used for substantives of location, instruments, and abstractions. The vowel after /m/ is normally /a/, but appears sometimes as /i/, or in the case of s/o/. The prefix /t/ is used to denote the action of the verb it is derived from, more common for initials /w/verbs, e.g. prefixed / is used in adjectives, e.g., and also occurs in nouns with initial sibilants, e.g. In the latter case this prefix was added for phonetic reasons, and the prefix is called either prothetic or prosthetic. Prefixed often occurs in quadriliteral animal names, perhaps as a prefix, e.g. in Proto-Semitic nouns were marked for case, in the singular the markers were */u/ in the nominative, */a/ in the accusative, and */ i/ in the genitive, as evidenced in Akkadian, Ugaritic, and Arabic. The Amarna letters show that this was probably still present in Hebrew c. 1350 BCE. In the development of Hebrew, final */u, i/ were dropped first, and later */a/ was elided as well. Mimation, a nominal suffix */ m/ of unclear meaning, was found in early Canaanite, as shown by early Egyptian transcriptions of Jerusalem as Uru Alimim, but there is no indication of its presence after 1800 BCE. Final */a/ is preserved in /lagil, originally meaning at night but in prose replacing /lagil/, and in the connective vowels of some prepositions, e.g., nouns preserve */i/ in forms like construct state nouns lost case vowels at an early period, as shown by the reflexes of */, autojus/ and the reflexes of */ jadus/. However, forms like show that this was not yet a feature of Proto-Hebrew. Biblical Hebrew has two genders, masculine and feminine, which are reflected in nouns, adjectives, pronouns, and verbs. Hebrew distinguishes between singular and plural numbers, and plural forms may also be used for collectives and honorifics. Hebrew has a morphological dual form for nouns that naturally occur in pairs, and for units of measurement and time this contrasts with the plural. A widespread misconception is that Hebrew plural denotes three or more objects. In truth, Hebrew plural denotes two or more objects. However, adjectives, pronouns, and verbs do not have dual forms, and most nominal dual forms can function as plurals. Finite verbs are marked for subject, person, number, and gender. Nouns also have a construct form which is used in genitive constructions. Nouns are marked as definite with the prefix /ha/ followed by gemination of the initial consonant of the noun. In Tibrayan Hebrew the vowel of the article may become // or // in certain phonetic environments, for example, /h, h, x, m/, /h, I, /. The traditions differ on the form of sigolate nouns, nouns stemming from roots with two final consonants. The anaptictic / of the Tibrayan tradition in sigolates appears in the Septuagint but not the hexapla, e.g. /g, r/=ga, e, versus /kes, l/=es. This may reflect dialectal variation or phonetic versus phonemic transcriptions. Both the Palestinian and Babylonian traditions have an anaptictic vowel in sigolates, /e/ in the Palestinian tradition and /a/ in Babylonian. The Qumran tradition sometimes shows some type of back epenthetic vowel when the first vowel is back, e.g. for Tiberian /o, l/. Biblical Hebrew has two sets of personal pronouns. The freestanding independent pronouns have a nominative function, while the pronominal suffixes are genitive or accusative. Only the first-person suffix has different possessive and objective forms. Verbal consonantal roots are placed into derived verbal stems, known as binyanim in Hebrew. The binyanim mainly serve to indicate grammatical voice. This includes various distinctions of reflexivity, passivity, and causativity. Verbs of all binyanim have three non-finite forms, three modal forms, and two major conjugations. The meaning of the prefixing and suffixing conjugations are also affected by the conjugation, and their meaning with respect to tense and aspect is a matter of debate. The default word order in Biblical Hebrew is commonly thought to be VSO, though one scholar has argued that this is due to the prevalence of clauses with a Wayik-Tal verb form compared to other less marked forms that use SVO either more often or at least to a comparable degree. Attributive adjectives normally follow the noun they modify. In Biblical Hebrew, possession is normally expressed with status constructus, a construction in which the possessed noun occurs in a phonologically reduced construct form and is followed by the possessor noun in its normal, absolute form. Pronominal direct objects are either suffixed to the verb or alternatively expressed on the object marking pronoun. Biblical Hebrew has two main conjugation types: the suffix conjugation, also called the perfect, and the prefix conjugation, also called imperfect. The perfect verb form expressed the idea of the verb as a completed action, viewing it from start to finish as a whole, and not focusing on the process by which the verb came to be completed, stating it as a simple fact. This is often used in the past tense. However, there are some contexts in which a perfect verb translates into the present and future tenses. The imperfect portrays the verb as an incomplete action along with the process by which it came about, either as an event that has not begun, an event that has begun but is still in the process, or a habitual or cyclic action that is on an ongoing repetition. The imperfect can also express modal or conditional verbs, as well as commands in the jussive and cohortative moods. While often future tense, it also has uses in the past and present under certain contexts. Biblical Hebrew tense is not necessarily reflected in the verb forms per se, but rather is determined primarily by context. The participles also reflect ongoing or continuous actions, but are also subject to the context determining their tense. The verbal forms can be past tense in these circumstances. The verbal forms can be present tense in these circumstances. The verbal forms can be future tense in these circumstances. The following is a sample from Psalm 18 as appears in the Masoretic text with medieval Tiberian Nicktud and cantillation and the Greek transcription of the secunda of the hexapla along with its reconstructed pronunciation. 29, 30, 31, 32, 29. A, E, Yahweh E, A, S, 30, SSA, Ed, D, SSE, EDA, E, S, 31A, A, Day, EA, A, Yahweh SE, Fa A, E, A, S, SS, 32, E, S, Ad, Yahweh, S, A, E, 29, 30, 31, 32.